Attention passengers, this is SNY's Keith Hernandez, and this is a Queens-bound 7 express train, the fastest way to Citi Field to see your Metsies.
Yo, 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 what's going on, Mets Nation? What is going on, everybody? It's your host, Dave from Top Bunk Sports. And I got my three other hosts in here. I got my guy, Amish, Chris, and AP. What is going on, fellas? How we doing?
What up? What up? What up?
What's up, my guy, Top?
Nah,
Doing
man,
good.
chilling, man. I'm in a good mood, man. We took out the brooms today. We took care of business at home. We took out the brooms, sent those Canadian Leafs back to their homes, man. It's nothing better than taking care of business at home again this week, man. That's one of the best feelings when it comes to this game. I'll get straight into it. Obviously, it was a fun week. We had a home opener on Friday. And everybody was packed in. Everybody came out to show love, show support. It was actually a good weather. It wasn't too windy. It was pretty warm. Everybody was decked out in Mets jerseys, and we had a good vibe. I mean, before we get into obviously the nature of the game, I was there. Chris, you were there. AP was there. Amish, you were there in spirit. Like, tell me, guys, how in terms of just what you saw on TV, and Chris and AP what you saw live, how did you guys feel? Atmosphere, how did you feel about the game and stuff like that?
Well, I guess I'll start. I had honestly, it was a hectic day. I was coming home from work, and I got the kiddo and my wife, and we took the train to the game. It was my son's first opening day. I was kind of
Hold on,
nervous.
AP. Wait. We gotta also mention it was also AP's birthday, so we gotta mention that
Yeah,
too.
happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I guess those are the party vibes.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was my birthday. I went to work early. My boss was being cool. She let me go early so I could watch the game. So I brought my son out and my wife. I was nervous just because I was like, I was expecting a huge crowd and I didn't know how he was gonna react. And we basically had to let him rock with the cell phone for a little bit so I could watch the game in peace. But all in all, it was a great experience. It feels like a completely different vibe. Like this opening day, and it just felt like it was just different all the way around. I know Soto's there, but it just feels like everything about this team just feels different. Like from the way that they handled certain things, I can't really describe it. It just feels like the energy's completely like the negative cloud that was kind of following this team seems to have been like gone, at least for the time being, and it just feels good like just being in the stands and chanting "Let's go Mets" for the first time in Queens. It's really amazing. The place was packed. Everybody was like up and ready to scream their heads off for a couple of the players, especially Lindor. They wanted to greet Soto, and Pete got a rousing ovation. You heard the Vladdy cheer too. So Vlad got some recognition because like that's the guy that if Pete is gone, that's the guy that most Met fans would want to replace him, which I thought was funny. But all in all, it was a great time, especially with the outcome. But we'll get to that later. But I had a real good time. It was awesome to be at the ballpark again and just being there with the family and all of Mets fandom.
Chris?
Oh man, it was amazing. Shout out to all the guys that we met. I mean, that we met up with. Everybody from Queens baseball, most of the guys. Macho made it all the way from
Sir,
upstate. Shout out to him.
yes, sir.
Uh, Man, it was the vibes, man. The vibes was great. I mean, it was, and I remember that I don't remember me being a home opener. That was probably my first home opener in my life. Maybe I've been to when I was young that I don't remember, but that I remember that was my first home opener. And people say it's different, and it was different. But being my first home opener, the vibe is different. Like you feel like you're back home, like you're everybody's in a happy mood and everything before the ball game. You know, you get to do your predictions, which I kind of wild out on, but it's all right because we still won. But it was fun. It was great seeing the guys. I was sorry if you guys hear some noise in the back. My son is having some fun there. But yeah, man, it was great to be back, man. And it was the smooth win. It was smooth, nice and easy, and it was just great to be with the vibes, man.
Amish, what'd you think from when you sent your spirits? Would you think about opening day?
Yeah, I mean, on TV, it doesn't obviously doesn't translate quite the same, but you could feel the energy, especially early, like pre-game and like that first inning.
Mhm.
That SNY shot when they played Lindor coming up to bat and the theme of his song, and then they cut the song and the crowd keeps going, and then he like the pitch was like instant, and he immediately gets a hit, and then he takes second base, and we thought he was out. Then they showed it he was safe. Like that was pretty cool. That whole moment on TV was dope. It would have been cooler had they just called him safe, because I think it like took the energy a little bit from the moment when they called him out. The crowd was like groaning, and then they had to wait to overturn it. But no, it was
I was
cool.
gonna
Like,
say,
game off.
Amish, when you heard that, like it, because I was at the stadium and you heard it, but when I watched the replay, and then you see, oh, oh, and it's like everybody just made that same noise collectively. It was
Yeah,
kind of
it
crazy.
like deflated everything in that moment, and then like as soon as they started showing the replay, everybody was like, "All right, he's safe." But no, it was cool. It was cool to see. I posted something on X about it. Like, there's something about the home opener that hits different. Like when the home opener and actual opening day don't coincide. Like opening day just
Hmm.
doesn't feel the same to me. Like it feels like something's missing.
Mhm.
So when that home opener hits, it's like a different vibe. And it was fun, man. It was fun to get an easy win, and it would have been cool to be there someday. I might try to make it out there for an opening day, but yeah, it was good times. Hope y'all had a good time, and happy birthday, late AP. My bad on that one.
Oh yeah, shout out to
He was
AP. Happy birthday.
AP was out there celebrating, man.
Appreciate
He
it.
had the bottle with him. He was chilling, man. No, but yeah, before we get into obviously the stats of all the games and everything, opening day I think is one of the most funnest experience I've ever had. I've been blessed enough to go to 4 of them, and I think enterprises when you built the enterprise and you built the empire,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But no, man, it's the feeling of it is you can't explain it, especially when you know that the team is built for success. Like it's different when if you're going into opening day and you know the team isn't shit. I think the 3 out of the 4, the 3 has to be obviously 2022, because we kind of the expectations were high, and then you go into 2024 where you didn't know what the expectations were. You went into that opening day thinking, all right, whatever happens this year is whatever happens. But then you go into this year and you're going in there where you know the expectation is to win and to make the World Series, and you know that it's your superstar, your new superstar that you just signed. It's his first game back at Citi Field, but he's representing the home team instead of the away team, because Juan Soto's been at City before on the away side. So now that you have that superstar and the expectations are much higher, the feeling just it doesn't get any better, man. And it's always a dope feeling. But straight into the stats for all 3 games of the series. The first one, obviously, opening day, we won 5-0. And before I let you guys break it down, I will say that I'm gonna give this guy credit. Tyler McGill. Tyler McGill does not get enough credit. And part of that is because other guys in our rotation right now are succeeding. But this is a guy, and I will take this on the chest. This is a guy that I could not stand. I'm talking about we had conversations in the offseason about him being part of a rotation, I just wanted to throw up. I wanted to vomit just because I couldn't stand him. He never showed any side of success. He was never consistent to me. It was always, my blood pressure was going. I think he's the most out of anybody else in this rotation that has raised my blood pressure more than it needed to be. But this year, he has taken the ball and he has ran with it and he has been successful. On opening day, he basically pitched to the best of his ability. 5.1 innings, he only allowed 2 hits, 0 earned runs, walked 3, but got 4 strong strikeouts, and he kept the Mets in the game. Like that's again, the Mets were able to battle out on offense because he kept them in the game. And of course, the bullpen is going to be a topic of conversation, of course, as they should be. But when we talk about guys that are not really consistent as starters and they're doing what they're doing, you have to tip your cap to them. I'm going to go to Amish first. Amish, what did you think not only about the pitching, but in terms of the rest of the team and how they performed in that game?
Solid game. I mean, the theme for the series is obviously going to be about the pitching more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I think that moment that I was talking about with Lindor, it shows, like, as Lindor goes, the team kind of goes. Like, he finally started to get on base, started to get some hits this series. Him immediately, like, getting that hit, turning it into a double, that just got the crowd into it. And then Alonso does his thing. Like, he's been on fire. Like, he's obviously been our best hitter so far. And that's all we needed. We did tack on a few more runs in the 6th inning. Like you said, I'm not McGill's biggest fan either, but I got to give him credit. He's pitching well so far. Hopefully he keeps it up, because the thing about McGill is he's done this in spurts before. He's looked good, and then all of a sudden he just falls off. So hopefully that's not the case this year. Hopefully he can ride it through the season, and he's got the potential. He's got the stuff. He just never can put it together for a whole season. So hopefully he can get that done. The bullpen performed great again. I mean, Max Kranick was freaking unbelievable. He pitched 2 innings that game. He's been awesome, and it was awesome to see his family was there. He obviously grew up a Mets fan, so his family was there. They were having a good time. They were happy seeing him pitch. Like, I don't know, it was a nice, clean game. Like, that's what you like to see. Like, the big difference to me, I don't want to jump ahead to the whole series, but
right.
The big difference with this series and the last series, it wasn't like we played that much crazy better on offense. If anything, we scored more runs against the Marlins. Yes. But we played clean. We played clean baseball. No freaking throwing the ball all over the field. No kicking the ball all over the field. And that's what you want to see. Like, even if the offense is not there yet, as long as the pitching is doing what it's doing and the guys on the field are not throwing the ball and everywhere and making errors and just giving the other team runs, then I can live with the offense right now.
Shout out to Mets Duas Part, my guy Ibby in the building. Ibby goes, yo, this guy tried to fight me at the team store today. Crazy, look like top. Well, I did bump into Ibby at the team store, and he looked at me for a second. He was like, yo, I didn't really expect you to be this short. So, It's not. No, I'm just joking. It was dope seeing Ibby. Man, Ibby is a dope dude, funny dude, man. He's such a positive guy. Knows about his team, knows about baseball, man. Please follow Till Mets Do His Part, man. They are putting content every Wednesday at 5:30 with him and John, man. They are dope. So please give them a follow. Shout out to them, man. But
shout out John too. That dude's hilarious.
John, man. He has me crying all the time. But before we get to AP and Chris, for most of the part, the scoring basically was Alonso's home run in the 1st inning, then obviously Soto's double in the 6th, Nimmo's double in the 6th, and then Marte sacrifice in the 6th. So most of it came from the 6th inning. But I'll go to AP on this one. AP, what's your thoughts on game 1 in terms of the offense, pitching, and overall?
I mean, you said it with McGill. He dominated this game. He pretty much was in cruise control. I think a big component of that was Pete getting off to that hot start, getting us those 2 runs early.
Mhm.
You love to see Lindor get that leadoff double just for his own psyche, because it's been blown out of proportion how he gets out to slow starts, and maybe not so blown out of proportion, but I think it's important that he take steps to make sure that that doesn't happen necessarily again to that extreme. I think if he's able to have a better start this year, it'll be better for his mindset and make sure that he's not under that level of pressure. So hopefully that's something that he's able to continue to do. But it looked like especially in this series, it looked like he was in a better headspace,
Mhm.
and maybe it was just like some home cooking and just being home for like the first time this year. But you love to see the quick offense as opposed to just waiting, at least for the first game. The other games, it felt like it took a little bit longer. But the first game, we set the tone. McGill pretty much shut them down for 5 1/3. Then you had the bullpen just come through and just be like, whether it was Reed coming in a situation that required him to get out of runners on base, he got out of it. Then you have Minter come in, narrowly get a 2-run home run, but thankfully it was foul. And then Kranick just doing his thing, like Amish said. Kranick appeared twice in the series, and twice he pitched more than one inning, and that just shows you what a weapon he is. We don't have necessarily a guy that we could pitch like that, and Kranick just seems to just be very comfortable. So knock on wood, this continues. But in the first game, he was lights out. We didn't have to burn too much of the
Well, yeah.
and then you see my son come in, but we didn't have to burn too much of the bullpen, and we had to do. It was a very efficient game. There wasn't really a lot of stress in it,
Yes,
and
it was not a very loud stress in it.
okay, I have no idea what he just said, but okay,
I
but
got it. No, he's right. Now he's absolutely right. He knows it. You teaching this kid. I respect it. I
Yeah.
honestly, yo, Chris, you gotta duplicate that to your son, bro.
Yeah, man, I gotta step it
What
up,
you
man.
doing?
I mean, but it was a very efficiently pitched game. The offense had its spurts. I mean, we were facing a decent pitcher. He's not bad. Guzman has good, like he's a good starter. So I thought that for the most part the Mets seemed in control in game one. So I wasn't really stressed out. It was a nice kind of stress free for the most part game. And when we added those extra runs with Soto's double and everything, just kind of put the game out of reach for Toronto. And you know, hopefully we have more of those like easy, calm, games, so I don't like take years off my life.
Yeah. Chris, what do you think about the overall of this game? As we start
Oh
that game.
man, it was like the most easiest, smoothest game I've seen. Especially, and look at the time, Toronto coming at the series, entering the series, they were top three offense in the league in American League coming into the series.
Mhm.
So they were hot at the moment. And the way McGill pitched and shut him down from jump, and it was easy for him. Yeah, the problem with McGill is that he tends to get into these problems when he walks people with 2 outs, and then he puts himself into trouble with 2 outs. That's his only issue. But other than that, he pitched very well, bro. Very, very good. The bullpen lights out once again. Kranick in a tough situation, and Reed Garrett coming in and getting 2 key strikeouts right away. And it was like smooth, easy. Lindor set the tone. That like Amish was spot on when they put on his music and everybody kept singing. And as soon as the My Girl stopped, and right there the hit dropped, and then it was, oh man, it was just amazing. It was like poetic. It was like in the movie script. Like it was like
Right.
planned. Okay, when you guys say My Girl, he's gonna get a hit. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So it was like perfect. Man, Lindor just needs to be home, man. This man feeds off the energy. You could tell he's different when he's at home. He's showing more emotion. He's more into like he's more like like. But it happens to all the players. There's none that playing at home with the crowd behind your back. So yeah, it was nice watching Soto get his first RBI, in City, and Memo following right after that after they walked Pete because they're walking Pete now.
Yes,
That's good. They're
they're
walking Pete now.
they're
They told
starting.
us they didn't have protection for Soto. Now they're walking Pete.
Mhm.
So and
Remember,
now
we
Memo's making
have Soto. Remember that.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah I know. And Memo is Memo. Listen, this people can say whatever, but I think Memo's a perfect four hitter
Hmm.
because he can do so many things at the four spot. He can hit lefties and righties. He doesn't probably hit for power for lefty, but what he does very well is that he takes pitches and he will extend on a bat. Goslin first inning had like 30 plus pitches.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because everybody was taking great at bats off and making him pitch and everything. That's the Mets that we love to see. So everything else was great. And shout out to whoever's putting on these music in the stadium because that foul ball home run, they hit the home run, right? The crowd was like, "Oh, we all debating it's foul." In my point of view, where I was sitting at, it looked fair, but I couldn't see it because it was like my point of view was different. But everybody was saying foul, so I was like, "Oh, let me see the replay." When they put the replay, they put some song there. It was like a trolling
It
song. I don't
was
know what.
the weekend Blinding Lights.
Yeah,
After
there you go, Blinding Lights.
they overturned
And
the call, they
then
played that song. Yeah.
yeah, and then when Minter, the very next pitch strikes him out, and then they put the
And not
Kendrick
like us.
Lamar. No, they put
Oh, not
the
that one.
Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar
Yeah.
"Be Humbled" song.
Yeah.
So it was
Yes.
like perfectly executed. I don't know who's doing that in the background, but shout out to them. It was if that was the perfect troll, that is the perfect. Whoever's they're doing a great job.
That
That's
brother
all I gotta
needs a
say.
raise, man. He needs a raise for what he's doing.
Yeah.
Um.
So
Yeah.
other than that, yeah. Other than that, perfect win, 5-0. Couldn't ask for more. The vibes was great. Nobody was stressed. Nobody butts were clinching, and it was great, bro.
Absolutely. And before we get into game two, you're gonna hear this a lot in terms of the pitching that we're obviously gonna get into within the next two games. Um, they in total, including the starting Tyler McGill, the guys that were in there that came in for the bullpen, which was Reed Garrett, AJ Minter, and Max Kranick. They went 9 innings, only gave up 4 hits, allowed 0 runs, 0 earned runs, only walked 3, and had 10 strikeouts. Dominance. That's how you win a ball game. When your offense is on point and your pitching staff is able to hold it down like that. That is called dominance right there. But let's get
Oh,
into
and shout out to Tank was right because
yes.
Pete Alonso, the home run man, put us right on, and I was like, you know what, this man, I extend him right now. The way if this is the Pete Alonso he's gonna be, man. Uh, why not
100%.
club?
100%. Like Tank has been one of Pete's biggest supporters, and I think that Pete's rewarding that faith in him a hundred times. If Pete is gonna bat like this, I don't think we gotta like talk about like any other first baseman. Honestly, like I think that Pete's Pete's been holding us down single handedly pretty much the entire what we've played like 9 games or whatever. He's been holding the team down by himself offensively because nobody other than him has really been batting. And he's even when he hasn't like hit like his the way that he's hitting the ball everywhere, his outs are loud. Like he's not like swinging or flailing at like pitches in the dirt or those sliders. Like he's taking the ball like the opposite side with authority. It's just like amazing to see. Like I'm very happy to see that man doing this thing because like he nobody on this team more so than Pete deserves it. He's been a lifelong Met, and you like to like see like people, especially with his love and loyalty to this organization, like really get off to this type of start and like kind of prove to not only himself but to like the fans that kind of doubted him, like this is why I'm worth this money. Like don't forget that I'm that guy that's been getting those 40 plus home runs and 100 RBIs damn near every year. So I think he's proven it, and I think that he's less cerebral. I think it's just like he sees ball, hits ball, and and don't um I guess don't also overlook the power of being in a different mind space because he's becoming a dad. Like
Mhm.
we saw over the weekend that announcement that he's expecting, and they were calling him stroller Pete, I think. So I think that's gonna bring another kind of level of just like tranquility into his life. So Shout out to him and his family, and I hope he continues to just have an amazing year.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Pete and his wife on uh she announced that they're pregnant. So they're expecting a bundle of joy coming in, and that is beautiful. Obviously, congratulations to Lindor and his wife that just recently brought in a bundle of joy into this world a couple of weeks ago. So congratulations to them as well. But going into this second game, obviously it was a little bit more, I would say, dreading, considering the fact that the weather was horrible. But it wasn't only the weather that was horrible; it was the inconsistencies of the Mets not being able to score with runners in scoring position. I mean, for starters, they left. If I'm not mistaken, they left. They were 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. So that already should just tell you how nasty it was. They left 8 on base, but they were able to, and again, this whole game went 0-0 up until the fifth and sixth inning. Toronto was able to score in both innings, and then Jesse Winker came out of the bushes. We were wondering when Jesse Winker was going to find his momentum, and Jesse Winker delivered in a big way, in a very big way. I mean, obviously he got his double, but he got two triples thanks to George Springer, who had a rough time in right field. Obviously, he tracked one that went under his legs and went to the backstop, so he got a triple on that one. And then with Lindor and Soto on base after I don't remember exactly how Soto got on base, but I do remember Lindor started that inning off with the walk. Um, Jesse Winker eventually came up and hit him a bomb, which I thought was gone because of the netting on right field. But because of the wind and how windy that game was, the ball was able to stay in park, and it looked like Springer robbed him of a hit until the ball came out of his glove and it was counted as a hit, and he was able to get an RBI triple, two RBIs out of that, and he tied the game. And then obviously our captain and Lindor came in the bottom of the ninth and hit the his sack fly to win it. But again, it goes to show that the reason that the Mets were in this game, regardless of how many chances they had to score and they didn't, was because of the pitching. And again, like I said before, that plays a big factor into this whole series, because they're, in my opinion, regardless of how the offense went, they're the reason that the Mets were able to get this sweep. They're the reason why the Mets were able to stay in front and be able to win those 3 games. So I'll start off with Chris. Chris, what did you think of game two? You could give me some of your negatives, some of your positives, and then we'll go on to Amish and AP.
Well, the negative is these people cannot see Chris Bassett for some odd reason. We didn't get that Chris Bassett in 2022 in the playoffs, but we got him every time we face him in the regular season. This man wants to shove it in our face.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right, man. I shout out to him. He did pitch a great game. I can't knock him. He shut down the offense, and the offense looked dead. Now the weather was horrible. The ball was not going nowhere because
No.
of the weather. We all knew that. So every little hit was gonna make a difference, and he pitched a good game. But shout out the Mets got no pitching. Hashtag Mets got no pitching. Canning was Canning. Shout out to Rick. Canning was there right with him too. Canning
Yeah.
pitched. I know he pitched only 4.5, 4 and 2/3 of
Canning went
one
yeah,
two thirds.
4 1/3. He
He
allowed
didn't make
4 hits,
yeah
only one run and one earned run, 3 walks, but had 6 strikeouts.
yeah. He kept us right there. I
Yeah,
mean, like I've said it before, this offense should not this team should not be depending on pitchers to pitch perfect games.
absolutely.
Like if the man is pitching 4 innings, 5 innings, and 1, 2 runs, it's okay. Shout out to the bullpen again. Came out in big spots and they got out of jams. Uh, it was great to see that they kept them in the game and Jesse Winker showed up. That's just one of the triples. I gotta blame Jesse Springer, kind of his fault, get in front of it, but he didn't get in front of it. Well, so the second one though, I can't really blame Springer. That was a shot. He hit the netting and he banged his
Right,
glove on the net on the gate,
right,
and
right,
his
right,
knee
right,
hit the gate. I can't really knock
right,
Springer, but hey, Jesse Winker, shout out to him. Gave us a boost of energy, tie game, and then the captain came up in a clutch spot and he delivered. That's how it went. And then after that, series secured, and Toronto once again saw that we have no pitching. But
Shout out to
that
the
is
people that said we had no pitching.
that's how it went.
Shout out before we get to AP. Shout out to my guy Odd Villain who was with us on opening day, tailgating with Queens baseball. Man, yo, he makes some banger empanadas. I just want to put that out there. Them bro, whew, my guy, you have a specialty, bro. You just know you have a specialty. You had everybody tuning in for the empanadas. So shout out to you, man. But AP, give me your thoughts on
Yes,
game.
sir.
What you thought about some negatives and some positives overall?
I mean, the negatives is just the offense doesn't seem to be clicking yet. I mean, it was a cold, wet day. So it's hard to hit in these conditions, man. The Mets all weekend it felt like they were playing through the elements pretty much. So I'm just thankful everybody got out of it healthy, to be honest with you. Um, I think that this game, what can I say? I think it felt like the pitching redemption story. This was basically just again, we saw people that were on the scrap heap or that people were ready to ship away from different organizations. Like you had Canning, who the Angels couldn't wait to get rid of him. He had an awful season. Then he goes to the Braves, gets designated for assignment. The Mets pick him up. Everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And just like Ivan was saying, trust the lab. The lab is just making these guys just monsters. Like it's just insane. Like nobody really understood it at that time. I know we went a little bit over it in December and in January when we were talking about maybe some of the possible reasons behind what Stearns was doing. And there's always been some quality there, but his ERA just looks so crazy that you had to look beyond the numbers. But man, the dude did his job for the most part. I would like to see him with a little bit more length going forward. But I know it's still early and they're taking it easy on the guys. But I hope that he's able to give us. I want to go. I want to always shoot for at least 6. I think like 5 innings puts a lot of stress on your bullpen. But we'll take it for now. He kept us in the game. Brazelbaum, I think that's another dude that doesn't get a lot of talk, and he's been super effective. He wasn't gonna be in the bullpen if it wasn't for the Nunez injury. He was about to be ticketed for AAA, and I mean, thankfully he's here. I mean, the dude's just been lights out. He's done everything we've asked. He's pitched multiple innings. He's shut down the opposing team. He's just been really good. So he continued to do what he needed to do. And in terms of the offense was non-existent for the most part. But one of the things that I loved about our team last year that seems to we're seeing a little bit of flashes of it is the ability for them to make these comebacks late against other teams' bullpens. And we didn't see it to fruition in Houston, but we saw just how much pressure they could put on teams' bullpens, and they almost got through in Houston, but we were able to do that in this series down 2-0 in the 8th inning. And you see Winker just hit an absolute rocket that, like, at first glance, you thought he hit it out.
Yes.
But, thankfully, Springer didn't catch it, and then I guess he got like a whiplash on that wall because he basically just couldn't get up. But these are the things that you and it seems to have fired him up. Like he was hitting all game and rejuvenated the team, and then Lindor came through with that sacrifice fly, and we won it. So it's just good to see like the guys' efforts not be spoiled, and just putting a lot of pressure laid on teams and our bullpen shutting down an offense that offense isn't bad. That offense isn't like terrible. I think it's a little top heavy, but you have all-stars in that lineup. So the fact that our bullpen was able to hold it down and not give up any runs and keep it a 2-0 game until our offense finally got rolling is amazing. And it's a testament to a lot of the organization's belief in their lab analytics and Stearns' belief in getting these guys that I guess you could call reclamation projects that nobody really wants, and seeing something that other teams don't see, and getting them in, believing in certain things, and having them, like execute it. So I mean, continue to impress bullpen, and I think that'll take us very far.
Amish.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it quick on this one because I'd rather at this point it's all that needed to be said was said. It was basically the Jesse Winker game. Um, 3 hits, 2 doubles, or a double and 2 triples. He did his thing. Brazovan, I mean, he's hasn't allowed a run all season. Got to give shout out to him. And then Diaz, I mean, he's got that bend but don't break thing going into these last 2 games. But hey, as long as he's getting it done, then that's all that matters, getting the victory. So yeah, shout out to pitching. The offense obviously still not there. Lindor, nobody's mentioned Lindor's big sac fly to walk it off. Like that was a nice moment. He just came up there like he wasn't gonna wait. He got his pitch and he took it to the outfield and did what needed to be done. He didn't try to do too much, and that's what I want to see in those situations. Too many times you see when guys get up, they press and they're trying to get a hit when all they need is to make a productive out. So that was good to see. A nice little win, and yeah, I mean, obviously the weather sucked. I feel bad for the people that were sat through that crap, but yeah, good win. Canning did his thing. Like to see him go a little longer, but yeah, that overall nice to get a W when it looked like a loss for most of the game. So nice to pull out a win out of that.
And again, I'm gonna keep mentioning the pitching so far, including Canning. They went 9 innings, gave up 10 hits, only allowed 2 runs, 2 earned runs, had 4 walks, but got 11 strikeouts, and it was enough to keep the Mets in the game to where they were able to score. They were able to win off a walk-off, like you mentioned, Amish, due to Lindor, who, again, I think it was nice to see him get that walk-off. Kind of rejuvenate himself coming back home, not really struggle. And for him to really cap it off, I think it was a dope moment. So shout out to him for that. And your Mets pick up a 3-2 victory with their first walk-off of the season. Now we get into today's game. Now, today's game, I think, was just a little bit more frustrating than yesterday's game. And not because of one person that we probably will get to towards the end, that I just want to grab him by his neck and just like, but, I'll calm myself down for that.
Top, can I just add something because I just got it in my feed?
Yes.
Well, if you guys were watching the game, Peterson left with what looked like was an injury at the time, but we found out after that he was just under the weather. And I'm reading this report on MLB.com, and Peterson is quoted as saying, hopefully it's a one and done. And he's feeling a lot better at this moment. He said Peterson said he wasn't under the weather prior to the game nor during the game until facing Guerrero in the 5th. He said, I threw a pitch, I got the ball back, the vision just went blurry, then the vision started to come back. My stomach turned over on me. I just felt worse with every breath I took, Peterson said. Peterson said he's feeling better. He was able to get some food in his stomach, and the doctors looked at him and were not concerned. It's not something that I ever had. Hopefully it's one and done and just move on. So he's hoping to start his next start. It's nothing physically. It just seems like he just caught something in the middle of the game.
I can tell you exactly what happened.
Yes, Amish, go ahead, Amish. I knew you wanted to say it.
I've had this happen to me before. You driving down the road, you're in the middle of nowhere, you can't get to a bathroom, you're trying to hold it in, and your body just turns on you. Like your stomach starts turning. You can't see because you're sweating. Like he had to take a shit and he couldn't take a shit. That's what happened. That's all it is.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what happened.
For real though, like a lot of people were worried that he got hurt. I'm gonna say when I saw it in real time and I saw him kind of double over, I thought he was gonna puke. Like I thought he was sick.
That's what I thought.
That's where my mind went. I'm like, this dude's sick. Like he's gonna barf like all over the mouth.
Because what they did for like 2 seconds, whenever there's like a mound visit because somebody's hurt on the big screen, they don't even show the player. Like they'll go back to the regular promo screen where it shows the logo. But I guess they messed up on that for like maybe 5 seconds. They zoomed in on the huddle. And you could kind of see Peterson's reaction, and he didn't look like he was hurt. He just looked like when you put that face when you have like a stomach ache or something like that. Like in my head, I was like, oh, he probably.
I will say this: it doesn't make too much sense that dude said like his vision was going.
Yeah,
they left him in the game after he told them that.
I know that doesn't make sense, and then he lost all control.
Yeah.
Wait, Amish, do you think he told him, I farted and it just came out? I think I feel better. Like,
oh God,
it's possible. He was like, yo, I'm good. I can make it through.
I mean, I hope it was just a fart.
If he had mentioned at any point that his vision was going, then they should have taken him out.
Right away out.
What are you doing? But
yeah.
100%.
At least it wasn't an injury, and everybody. I know a lot of people were freaking out.
That's probably why he hit Jimenez, because he couldn't see. He's like, "Yo, I thought I pitched inside, and I ended up hitting." But it is idiotic on a lot like that. All right, let's get to it. That part,
flag for that, and
that was the part we all were mad at Mendoza.
Yeah,
because it made no sense. Like the dude was cruising pretty much the entire game, and then that happened. And then he lost all types of control. I mean, I know that Jimenez was coming up and he's a lefty, but he had lost the strike zone completely. Thankfully, Kranick came in. And, man, shout out to Kranick again, man. Like, how many, situations you're going to put Kranick in? Like, Kranick was in Houston with the bases loaded with 1 out.
He got out of it.
Nothing. He came in here with bases loaded again against, a really good lineup. Like, damn, it's crazy that he set him up like that. I think it would have been better.
He earned himself a win. That was his first win.
Yeah.
It's
unfortunate that David didn't get that win because he pitched that game was pretty much he was smooth sailing throughout that entire game. I was not stressed out with David Peterson. He was like mowing them down. He was not striking anybody out, but he was getting these weak contact, these fly balls. I wasn't worried until that point, and then I was like, holy crap. I'll be honest, from my perspective, I thought it was his back because it looked like he was doubling over trying to stretch it out. But once they said afterwards, whatever, I was like, oh, thank God. But even Gary and them were saying, well, it looks like the back, but backs are tricky. So I'm like, come on, man, I don't want to hear that right now. I don't even want to think about who we're gonna bring from AAA, who's gonna come in and replace him. But thankfully, it seems like it's just he had some type of, I don't know, whatever that was. Maybe he did have the to go to the bathroom, but he got through it. But the Mets offense, we got that 1 run fairly quickly. But then after that, it was again more just going through the motions. 2 runs. I don't know. To be honest, 2 runs for this team. I'm still waiting for this offense to wake up. I know the weather sucked this weekend. I know that it's still cold. The conditions are not great, but I just feel like they could do a little bit better than just 2 runs. I personally feel they need to be better at manufacturing runs. I think that they need to start working on that a little bit because I think that that's one of the things that the team was kind of lacking last year, and I would love to see them do more hit and runs, bunting guys over, just doing the little things because it feels like you shouldn't have to worry. I mean, not worry, wait for a 3-run home run all the time. I think that you should be able to be all right, who's our better hitters coming up? You got Siri who's got speed. You got, Cunha who should be playing because Beatty, oh God. If you want to talk about a negative, and I hate piling on, nah, fuck it. I enjoy it. This motherfucker needs to leave. I'm so done with Beatty. I really am. I know it's just the 3rd series, but for the love of God, he needs to leave.
You see how you guys are laughing, and I'm staying. You want to know why? And this is really irking my nerves because I try to avoid slandering this kid as much as possible, but he just does it to himself. This is possibly the 4th straight year, if I'm not mistaken, that this kid has been up here and has done nothing but shit. I want y'all to really process that. 4 straight years that this kid has been given an opportunity and has done nothing with it. Yet this organization seems to think that this kid can just magically turn it around and he's going to be a superstar. Oh, he's a superstar, but he's a superstar for Port St. Lucie. They have a statue already built for this kid because he plays like he's Ken Griffey Jr. But when he's up here, he's nothing. He's useless. I hope that David Stearns and Steve Cohen can look at this kid and be like, listen, we're either going to keep you in the minors for the rest of your career because you can't cut it up here, or you're getting traded. But he should not be in this lineup. This pitcher today, I kid you not, all he did was attack the strike zone with Brett Beatty, and this kid couldn't even touch the ball. All his pitches were in the strike zone. Not one pitch was outside the strike zone, and he couldn't even touch the ball. That, to me, means he is mentally fucked. He's not ready to be at this level. He's not. Call me a hater. Tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. I've seen it for 4 straight years, and I'm done. This is why I told a lot of people on fucking Twitter, stop shaking your ass for spring training shit. It's not going to work. This brother can't cut it. And I said, listen, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, just like I've given Tyler McGill the benefit of the doubt. Just like last year, I gave David Peterson the benefit of the doubt, and he proved me wrong. So far, McGill's proven me wrong. I have given Brett Beatty the benefit of the doubt for the 4th time. And I said, if he can show me something, now that he's here, they're giving him an opportunity. He's doing well in spring training because they're not going to just deny him that after what he did in spring training this year. If he can prove something, cool, I'm on board. He has not. When are we going to stop with the bullshit? Because you know what? There's a reason why Acuna is cold, because he's not getting consistent playing time. Let this kid play every day. That's it. That's your only option until Jeff McNeil comes back. There's a better option on both sides with Acuna than it is with Brett Beatty. I hope that fans and that this front office and we really don't have much to complain about when it comes to this front office. They've done everything they can to put this team in position to win, and we've respected it, no matter what people want to say. But when it comes to Brett Beatty, he's done. He needs to go. Like I honestly hope that what they saw today is proof that he needs to go. You need to ship him out. You need to send that brother on vacation for him to clear his mind. Send him to Dubai, please. Buy his hotel, get him on a camel, let him wear the turban. Do what you got to do to get this brother on some sun.
This man is good.
Please, I'm begging them to just help this kid out, because honestly, I don't like bashing players in, because at the end of the day, guys like that, they're human beings. So you just never know what they see and what they hear. But at the end of the day, he cannot cut it. This is 4 years of the same bullshit. It really is. And it's disgusting to me. At some point, when are you going to look at Luis Angel Acuna and be like, you know what? From now on, you're starting every day. I don't care about lefty-righty matchups. You're starting every day, because you showed so much potential in 2 months last year than Brett Beatty has shown in these 4 years that he's been here. I just wanted to get that off, because I try to avoid it. I held everything. It took everything in me not to say anything. But after what I saw today, that was the icing on the cake when it came to this kid.
So just for
that being said, I'm going to go next.
I was just gonna say, just for reference, you will not be getting a Christmas card from the Beatty family.
That's fine. You can send me poison cookies as a FU. Do it. Do what you got to do, brother. Do what you got to do. I'm sick and tired of giving this kid so many opportunities, and he's yet to do something with it. People took that home run that he hit in Atlanta in 2022 and said that this brother was going to be the next David Wright. Soon as I heard that, I was off of Twitter for a week. I'm honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was off of Twitter for a week. I didn't even go back on Twitter because I already saw the comparisons that same day. And look, he hasn't proved shit. So
I could go on my own Brett Beatty rant, but I'm just gonna say I agree. I need to get up early. I need to get up early tomorrow, and I can't be here all night. I'm gonna wrap up this series. Like, there's not. Again, same story, different day. The offense was a no-show. Pete Alonso, shout out Pete Alonso. Again, he's gets 2 hits, an RBI. He's been the MVP of the season so far. Shout out to pitching again, the bullpen. I mean, what can you say? Max Kranick, give that man like all the flowers. And that was pretty much it. Like it was a pretty boring game to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, but this is what I want to say about like the season overall right now. We are 6-3. 6-3 with these numbers. Listen to this. Lindor is hitting 172 with a 498 OPS. Marte's hitting 182. Somehow his OPS is 788, so he's getting extra base hits.
Yeah.
Vientos is hitting 118 with a 365 OPS. Acuna is hitting 143 with a 414 OPS. Granted, he's not getting the proper playing time to really judge. Jose Siri has a batting average of 0.59. Granted, when he gets on base, he makes things happen. So I got to give him credit for that. But 0.59, the dude has, I think, one hit with a 318 OPS.
Yeah, I think he's like 1
And
for
then-
17 or something.
Yeah, the wonderful Brett Beatty is hitting 0.95 with a 238 OPS. These are the numbers we're rolling with, and somehow we have a 6-3 record. So shout out to the pitching. Shout out Pete Alonso because he's carrying this team right now on the offensive side. The only other guy really hitting, I mean, Soto is hitting 250 with an 823 OPS, but obviously he hasn't had too many big moments.
Yeah.
That's about it. Nemo's doing all right, but everybody else is just trash right now. So,
and you know what?
Next, the offense needs to freaking figure something out. But
I
hey,
just
6-3
feel like
with that, with those numbers, I'm happy.
I'll tell you
I'm
something.
just proving the point that I've noticed for a while. The Mets lineup, that bottom of the lineup, isn't doing a damn thing. If it wasn't for Torrens, that lineup would be easy outs all over the place.
And there's really nothing much that Mendy could do. That's the problem. There's nothing that Mendy could do. There's nothing much. But it's again, it's on guys to figure it out. Figure it out what you need to work on. Figure it out what's going on within your timing, within your approach. Because again, at some point, and we hope that the hitting for Alonso, and we hope that Lindor finds his stride and that Soto continues to hit consistently. Some point there are going to be games where those guys aren't going to be there. They're going to have their cold streaks. They're going to have their nights where we're 1 for 5, 0 for 4. At some point, the bottom of the lineup are going to find themselves in a situation where we're tied in a game and we're in the 8th inning or 9th inning, and it's up to them to score in those runs. At some or for them to start an inning off to try to get some momentum going. It's gonna be up to them. Who comes up and delivers? That's the question. And that's why Saturday, even though Saturday was a dreadful game as well, I'm happy that it took a guy from Jesse Winker to start that momentum. Because it wasn't our top guys, it wasn't Alonso, it was a guy that we were waiting for. When is Jesse Winker gonna get into this stride? And he did. Now, obviously, he didn't have a great game today. But you never know if after today's game, he goes into this Miami series and he starts killing. And it took that one game yesterday for him to find his hot momentum.
Yeah, I mean, series. I mean, this last game was like Amish said, it was boring. It was a lot of nothing going on, but the pitching was great until Peterson had a chronic ass problem, I guess. I try to mix those two pictures together, But whatever happened, whatever, it's out the. Hopefully he's fine, and and the offense did just enough. 2 runs wins you a game with no pitching. That's great. The Mets have no pitching, and they get you 2 runs and they win a game. That's just amazing. And then Diaz, Diaz doing his. He needs to see runners on base for some reason. That's when he gets his stuff going. He needs to see somebody make he needs to see it, because if you don't see it, he don't pitch good. So right away off the bat, boom, hits the batter right away. The next 2 strikeouts. This guy's just it's like automatic with him. So, but shout out to him. It's not easy to come back-to-back days with that kind of weather, and it was lights out. It was throw 98. It was good. Edwin Diaz type, and the series sweep. It's great to see. Now we hopefully go into Miami and win that series, and we should be good. And hopefully the offense finally wakes up. The weather ain't gonna be much prettier. It looks like it's not gonna get any better. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, we took the third game by a score of 2-1, and it took Pete Alonso and Brandon Nimmo to bring in those 2 runs. Shout out to Pete Alonso. Right now has an average of 667 with obviously well in this game he had 1 RBI, but overall he's been, like Amish said, a 290 average, carrying this team. Um, just been clutch for this team since they started. So again, he comes up once again. That strike zone right now is huge for him. He's seeing everything that's coming in the zone. So shout out to him.
Yeah, real quick, fellas, can I jump in? I got to get my kid to bed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't want to get divorced anytime soon.
You're good.
No, but shout out you guys. Just quick prediction. I don't never want to predict a sweep. So 2 out of 3 against the Marlins is where I'm going with it. Appreciate y'all, fellas. I got to jump, but hopefully next time I'm good for the whole show. But
No, we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you always, man. Shout out to my guy Amish, man. Please.
Amish, do you think my prediction is gonna hold up before you leave for April?
20 and I don't know. I don't think so, but we'll see.
Well, shout out to you, Amish.
All right, guys. We'll see
you on the next episode. But before we wrap up here, we got the obviously serious prediction. We have McGill, we have Senga going in tomorrow, then we have Holmes, and then we got McGill going in for game 3 before we head on a 6-game road trip, starting out in Sacramento. So I'll go on with Chris, and then I'll go on with AP. Guys, what are your predictions for tomorrow's series against Miami?
I'm with Amish. When I look at series, I never say this is a sweep. I never count any team out, especially when that team just beat our I don't know if you call them a rival anymore, but Atlanta. I know they're going through it, but never count them out.
Mm-hmm.
And they just took a game out from them, so you never. And the Marlins give us headaches here and there, like they're a pesky team. They're gonna try to, pump their chest in here in city. So hopefully they must take 2 out of 3. I mean, if they want to sweep, I'm not gonna say no, but I'm expecting a 2 out of 3. We're missing Sandy. Sandy's having a child, so he's gonna miss the series. So that's
right.
But hopefully that benefits us. But we gotta get the bats going. That's the pitching. I'm not gonna say nothing because they've been holding their end. I'm not gonna say, well, the pitching better do. No, I expect now. I'm expecting pitchers to pitch that good. So. So it's just the offense. We just need to wake up and be more consistent. Once we get those guys going, it looks like Soto's feeling more and more comfortable. He's getting extra base hits. Lindor is getting more comfortable. He's at home. Pete is Pete. Memo comes through here and there. And then the bottom of the lineup like you said, gotta find a way to get some hits in there. But 2 out of 3 will be great for me.
AP?
This series, just looking at the weather, I feel like the weather's gonna play a big factor in this series. Tomorrow is gonna be like raining on and off all day, it seems like. So who knows if we even get that game in tomorrow. And then Tuesday, they're talking about it being super windy. So who knows what that means in terms of like the balls and hit in the air, and if we have to double header that game. Then Wednesday we have that 1:00 start for getaway day. So it seems like a lot going on in this series just based off the weather alone. Things I'm looking forward to. I need Clay Holmes to kind of rebound from like a sort of like shaky beginning to his Met career. Like it hasn't been very consistent. I know he's just getting assimilated to being a starting pitcher and everything, but I'd like to see him taking like a step forward here, giving us at least like 5 solid innings of like maybe 1 run, and like not like throwing a whole bunch like if they take him out just because he's they're building him up. But I don't want him to throw like 100 pitches in 5 innings. He needs to like really have more efficient innings than he's had. I'm looking forward to the offense taking some steps, but like I said, with the weather being what it is, at this point, I just want him to consistently at least get 3 or 4 runs a game. Just really be more consistent on not putting so much pressure for you to scrap like 2 runs together. Like let's get like 3 or 4 I don't think that's asking a lot, especially with the competition being what it is. You're right with everything that the Mets are facing in this series in terms of weather and just like you never could really predict sweeps, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm predicting the Mets sweep the shit out of Miami, get them back to wherever they're going, and we end up this homestand 6-0 and continue the good vibes.
Yeah, every time I predict a sweep with this damn team, that they end up then it goes completely opposite. So I'm gonna say 2 out of 3 to save my ass, because every time we face Miami and I say sweep, it just goes completely a different way. So 2 out of 3, and I do predict one of those games being Clay Holmes getting a victory. I feel like he bounces back from his 2 so-so starts. He's home. He's his first game pitching in Citi Field as a starter. So I think, the home energy, the home crowd, the energy, being comfortable at home could definitely give him could provide him some help. And I'm looking for this team. Honestly, I know, starting pitching is obviously going to be the focus of everything, but I'm looking for this team to offensively, just as a whole, just use this series as a T-ball series. Like I'm look from top to bottom. I'm looking for everybody to just go off. I'm predicting Juan Soto's first Citi Field home run to be in this series. I'm just looking for these guys to just bum rush Miami. I could be wrong. Like I said, 2 out of 3, but I'm looking for this team to really put their foot down on Miami's neck and just go off. Use this series as an easy give me before you got to go and play a young, scrappy team against the A's, and then you got to play Minnesota, where again it may not be easy. Minnesota can still give you problems. People may not believe in them now, but they can still give you problems offensively. So use this as a gimme series and go ahead and just do damage. And then you go on to the road where you could possibly take 2 out of 3 from both series on the road. And it could be a whole different conversation, but I'm definitely looking for this offensive explosion that we've been waiting for from everybody to just to erupt starting tomorrow. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But fellas, I really do appreciate you. Shout out to Amish as well. I really do appreciate the time. We got the sweep, man. We got the sweep. All them Toronto buddies over there are crying. We kicked one off. We kicked one off.
Just clean right now. Clean is clean. Hey, clean right now. Yeah, we swept the Canadian rats out.
Hey, we closed the gate on number 14. That brother went to sleep. He said, "Nah, I don't want to sleep."
Get up. Yo, shout out to Master Flip. That man single-handedly that man off of Twitter.
Yeah.
Flip owns Canada.
Yeah. Toronto loves
Prime
Flip.
Minister Flip.
Yeah, man. But like I said, y'all my brothers, man. A shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Mets community. Shout out to Queens baseball. Shout out to the Mets nation in general. We appreciate. Oh, speaking of the guy himself, shout out to Master Flip, man.
Yep.
It was your weekend. It was your day, bro.
Prime Minister Flip, man.
Popping bottles, brother. Popping bottles. You deserve it, man. They were talking so much shit about you over a prediction, just a normal prediction. They made it seem like you were spitting in their face, and you beat them. You beat him. You kicked the guy off of Twitter, man. He was just interviewing the GM. I wonder how that GM feels. I wonder if he calls him and says, "Yo, I want to do another interview again with y'all, but I want to let off my frustrations because this team is pissing me off." I wonder if he does that. So there's a lot of ass whoopings that we saw this weekend. So shout out to you, Massive Flip. Like I said, shout out to Mets Nation. Shout out to all the Mets content creators, and shout out to Queens Baseball. And shout out to my guys AP and Chris. This is 7 Express Podcast, and we will see you guys on the next video. Peace.
This is SNY's Gary Cohen, and this train ride is over. This is the last stop on the train. Please exit onto the platform. Thank you for riding with us.